and welcome back to another episode of Budget Beauty's main series. I am Lindsay Beatty. I am the creative force behind Budget Beauty. And in this week's episode, not doing anything super fancy or in particular. I just decided I was like, oh, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do my makeup today. Since I have free time and I don't have anywhere to be, so I can take my time and do what I want. So here we are. And I decided I was going to do something with some silver in it. And so I was going to wear white to complement the silver. And so that's what we're doing. So here we are. I really actually do have time today. So there really isn't a very specific theme, going on that I need to do. It is a day early for me for doing my makeup generally. So, I was like, I have time. And I was like, let's get it done before tomorrow because I'm not planning to go anywhere tomorrow, which is Saturday. Today is Friday. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it a little bit early and then release it on Saturday. So, here we are. So I don't know what we're gonna do today. Aside from silver, I don't know what else we're gonna do. Also too, so I got this new wig while I'm on the subject here of doing stuff and new stuff. I got this new wig. I really like the front. I had to do a little bit of trimming for the bangs. And I got it off of Amazon. It's curly and it's as with most of my Amazon wigs, they tend to tangle real, like, especially if they're long like this, they tangle a little bit. So, that's why you see I'm like having to do that. It's supposed to be like a Betty Page style wig. So, it's got like I said, I had to do a little bit of trimming because beforehand the bangs were like here. And my husband was like, I don't think they're, did you say this was a Betty Page wig? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I don't think the bangs supposed to be that far down, right? And I was like, you're correct. They are not supposed to be that far down. I'm so glad that he knows and he pays attention to these sorts of things. So yes, he was very correct. They were not supposed to be that far down. So I did do a little bit of trimming. So if I can get it, I've tamed it a little bit so that I can get this part right. But yes, I did do a little bit of cutting. I think I did an okay job with the bangs with cutting it. So also too, I have to remember that I don't want it to sit too far down, but I also don't want it so that it's like barely on my head. So, but yeah, it's really cute though. It is super cute on me. So I was like, oh, we'll keep it. It was only like $20. As a matter of fact, let me see. Is the box in here? Yes, the box is. Bear with me for just 1 second. The box is actually in here with me. If I can get it out of the trash can. So this was the one that I bought. Ooh. But this is the one that I bought. This is it's more volley. I got it off of like I said, I got it off of Amazon. It was like $20. So yeah, I took it out the box and did all that I needed to do, and then I threw the box away in here. So that's why it's in here. But yeah, so I guess we can get started. We're gonna get started today. Per the usual. So too, I do have, and we're going to do something with the beauty haul coming up, because I got a shipment coming tomorrow from Amazon where it is some makeup. It is some more Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion, but it is in a different shade. It's in a couple of different other shades. I found them on Amazon and I was very excited. So, I ordered all 3 of those shades. Plus I ordered like 2 more dresses. So I was very excited because the dress that I got, the other day fit really well and it is gorgeous. And so I was like, ooh, I guess I'll start ordering more of these. So I added them to my list of, I have a list on Amazon for practically everything, but, I have a vintage look list that I add things if I order something and I really like it and it fits and I wear it a lot, I will go back and buy more colors of that particular whatever. So in this case, this was a dress that I got, and I wore it and I did a breakdown video that I'm currently rendering right now. I bought this dress and it is like green and bluish and yellow plaid. So the maker of that has several other patterns and they are absolutely stunningly gorgeous. So I ordered two. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm very excited. So, we're gonna get started with doing this. So while I'm doing this, I'm gonna do a little bit of story time because my husband and I had a little bit of. Sometimes, it ain't always peace in the kingdom, and so, and I'm also gonna be looking down. I have my mirror over here, so I'm gonna be looking down and trying to put the makeup on at the same time while I'm talking. Yeah, it's not always peace in the kingdom here in in the in the Beatty household here. This branch of the Beatty household. Sometimes folk like to get a little rowdy, and you gotta calm them down. So as my husband was explaining to me the other day, yesterday, there was a bit of ruckus in the kingdom. So we're preparing for my sister-in-law's wedding, okay, which gonna be a joyous event. We're very excited, very happy to attend. We're very happy for her, very happy for the young man that she's marrying, okay. So I'm like, yay, congratulations. I want to be well prepared, get my outfit together, which I have gotten my stuff together. And it turns out we only need to go get a tuxedo or a black suit. Okay. Now, I was present when we talked to we talked to sister-in-law, and sister-in-law said, "Hey, yeah, black suit's fine, tuxedo's fine." I was sitting there when he had the conversation with her on the phone. Okay. Now, we were double checking, more like he was double checking, because I had already said, all right, well, whatever you decide to do here, that's what we'll do. Let me know so I can coordinate, our schedules this weekend so we can go get this done. At least get things ready to go so that, because right now we're talking about, we're at the beginning of May. We're still in prom season. And I mean, people wear tuxes, but people tend to wear custom suits for prom. Okay. But you're now wedding season. My sister-in-law getting married. You're in wedding season. You in prom season. Okay. So I'm like, we need to get on it, and we need to get going for your stuff, so that we can double check, make sure we got everything well in hand. We're ready to go. So we're not waiting till the last minute. Okay. I do not want to wait till the last minute to have anything with this done. Okay. So he said, okay, cool. I will call her, double check, make sure, so I can be on the ball and I can have my stuff ready to go. We can go this weekend and get this together. So then he says, well, I will check with my daddy to make sure and see what's going on, see what he decided to do with his suit, and whether or not he was going to get another tux, he was going to get a new tux, he was going to rent a tux, he bought another tux, like what was going on, because he already had a tux at some point. He apparently goes to events. My husband and I do not, okay? We don't go to events like that. So we very seldom, I mean, in the last year, that's been probably the only time where we would go somewhere where we would need a tux or something like that, okay? So keep that in mind. So his point was, well, let me call daddy and coordinate and see. Maybe he going somewhere, he gonna get him a new tux. I need to double check and make sure with him before I go running out here to buy one or rent one. Let me double check with him, see what he gonna do. I'll link up with him, figure out what's going on. Tell me why And let me tell you, the old black proverbs start with tell me why. Tell me why. He talked to his sister. Sister said, cool, yeah, black suit or tux. Doesn't matter. We just want the men who are participating, doing something, to wear black. Tell me why, probably like maybe a minute and a half after he got off the phone with his sister, his daddy calls. And daddy calls and is irate. Well, we already talked about this, and I don't understand what the confusion is. And I'm like, hold on. First of all, I don't like your tone. Watch your tone. Because who the hell are you calling and talking to like this? You act like you calling and talking to some little 10-year-old child who ain't got no sense. I was like, first of all, a hello, how are you? would have been the best thing to do. And the second best thing to do was not call his house and act like you ain't got no sense and you don't know who you talking to. Like you ain't talking to a grown person. That's number 2. Okay. Number 3. Then he come talking about well, you ain't gonna show up. Yeah, I told you were gonna wear a tux and you ain't gonna show up looking any kind of way. Okay. So as I'm doing this, I'm putting on this under eye. I'm doing my eyeliner under eye. This is the Blackout Blackest Black Waterproof Long Lasting 24 by Absolute New York. So I had to shake it up. That's why I was doing all that shaking. But I was like, excuse me. So what's really going on here is, because if you haven't guessed already, based on what I already said about this situation, my mother-in-law is pissed off that she's not involved in any of this. This has nothing to do with my mother-in-law. None of this. She ain't invited. This is none of her child getting married. None of this, okay? She ain't the mother of the bride. She ain't none of this. She has no relation to this other than my husband, her son, is walking his stepmother down the aisle, okay? She ain't got nothing to do with this. Nothing, okay? So she's extremely pissed off about this. Let me note that. But if you guessed, $64,000 question here, if you guessed that my mother-in-law somehow is involved in this, you be correct. Because what does my father-in-law say? But, well, your mother told you that you needed a tux. Hold on. The next thing I said was, now what the hell does my mother-in-law have to do with any of this? What does she have to do with any of this? So, let me tell y'all what's really the tea. Let me give y'all the tea. My mother-in-law is extremely pissed off on several fronts. She mad that she ain't involved in this. Okay, so that's one layer. She ain't got no dog in this fight whatsoever. An even deeper layer is she is pissed off that there is a wife involved. Okay, and by wife I mean me. She is extremely pissed off that I am somehow in the way and in the picture here. And how dare I? Because if it wasn't for his wife, she would be handling all of this. And I'm like, and that's your problem. The wife is involved. There is, in fact, a wife here. This ain't your job. This is not your place. He has a wife. A whole wife. Okay? A whole grown wife. Okay? And his wife dresses him. I coordinate his wardrobe and whatever it is he decides to wear. He picks it out and I make sure it happens. Okay? Sometimes I pick the colors for him. Sometimes I don't. It's really up to him. If he wants me to pick the colors, he comes and asks my opinion on things because my opinion is important to him. He has made that very clear. His wife's opinion is very important to him. And oh, by the way, you know, since I'm taking these wedding bands off to do this makeup, before your girl got these right here, she was also advising him on his wardrobe. and letting him know, yes, those colors do go together. No, those colors don't go together. Hey, you might want to think about this cut and this style because, sir, you have a certain body type, okay? Let's be real. You have a certain body type. You can't just go bouncing out here in certain things. You have to be very mindful of your size and picking something that fits well. The color looks good on you. You got to be mindful of these things before you go out in the street, okay? And as my husband, and at the time, my boyfriend, longtime boyfriend, and life partner, sir, I'm not going to let you walk out this house looking any kind of way. You out here in the street on my arm, you going to look like somebody. Okay? As my mama always used to say, you better not go out this house not looking like somebody. Look like you got taught at the house how to dress. My mom was a clothes horse and a fashion horse. Okay? My mama could rag in the 80s. I promise you, she was at the forefront of clothing in the 90s, but definitely the 80s. So I remember her always telling me that when I was little, because I would always want to be fussing and be independent about what it was I wanted to wear. And so she would always be like, ma'am, I'm going to let you pick out what you want to wear, but keep in mind, you will not be going out of this house looking crazy. So there's that. So when we get down to it, there is a loss of control here that mama feels she should still have, even though there's a whole wife in the picture. Because let's get down to it. We don't want wife in the picture anyway. Wife is a problem. Wife is an impediment to all sorts of things. So I'm like, you know what? That sounds like a personal problem to me. I don't know what to tell you other than wife is here and wife ain't going nowhere, because this thing right here is forever. Okay? I told him last night, you realize you're not getting rid of me, right? You're not getting rid of me. I said, whenever we get where we need to be going in the afterlife, once we kick off this mortal coil, you ain't getting rid of me then either. So I said, Peter gonna be like, oh, you're finally here. Well, sir, your wife's already here. She's already got accommodation set up and ready to go for you. Just go on ahead and go meet her. There ain't even gonna be no question. You know that whole till death do you part thing? It ain't even gonna be till death do you part. It's gonna be never. So I was like, you're not getting rid of me. So, and as far as I know, last time I checked, he ain't trying to get rid of me either. So I'm just like, I'm not, I wouldn't say I'm at a loss, but I'm just kind of like, what's wrong with y'all? Y'all have problems. Y'all have very serious problems. Y'all need help, because what you're not going to do is mess this up. And you're not going to come in here and create and manufacture drama that's unnecessary. Don't call my house with this bullshit. Listen, I'm an extremely nice person until you mess with me. Don't call my house with this bullshit, because that's not what we're doing. That's definitely not what we're doing. So what we're going to do here, what we are doing is we're going to finish this makeup. So I'm going to use this, my little soft pencil. That's what we're going to start calling it, a little soft pencil. We're going to use this to cut the crease. This we're going to do, of course, over the lash line. And then I am going to wear some mascara today. But this is going to go over the lash line. So that's what we're doing here. And then I'm going to use this shadow stick. This is the ColourPop shadow stick, of course, in the shade Witch Please. It is a silver. Looks like that. As you can see, there's some black on here because I've already used it for some things. But I'm pre-planning here what I'm doing with this eye makeup. So let's get her going on the eye makeup, because I'm pretty sure yes, it has dried. That is the one thing I really like about that Urban Decay. One of the things I really like about the Urban Decay is that it is very it dries very quickly. And I kind of need, of course, my tool isn't over here, and I kind of wanted to sharpen this up a little bit. I do have another sharpener though. I could do this and just sharpen it that way. So anyway, yeah, I was like, I don't appreciate that. So what, in effect, what you're saying is, I am going to, you don't trust that I won't have your son coming out the house looking crazy. That's one. Two, you just disregarded the fact that he got a whole wife. Why would his mama need to be involved in any of this? So I don't appreciate that at all. And what you also not going to do is insult me and insult him. Because basically what you're saying is, you don't think he got enough sense to know how to dress for somebody's wedding, even though the woman gave you explicit instructions. So basically what you're telling me is you don't think he got enough brains to be able to figure this out on his own, even though all he was doing was calling to coordinate with you. Because you'd had a conversation about 3 weeks prior where things wasn't necessarily firmed up. So you call me hollering and cussing me out because you jumped ahead of the game and didn't get all the information. So tell me why I want to talk to you again. So I told him, and he said, yeah, never mind, I'll go do it myself. He was like, I ain't trying to link up with him. Nope, we're not doing that. I'll figure it out myself and go get whatever I was going to go get. We're going to go this weekend. I said, okay. You let me know what day this weekend, either Saturday or Sunday, and we will pick a place and we will go and we will rent a tux and we will get you set up and ready to go. Cause all of that could have been avoided. All of it. And I ain't appreciate it at all. So I was there when he sent a very long text to his daddy explaining in some not so nice words. And he had me read it over. And I said, okay. I mean, since he was mentioning me in this scenario, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll read it if you want me to. I mean, that's up to you, whatever you want to say to him. But yeah, I'll read it over. I ain't got no problem doing that. So I read it over. And I made some salient points to him, which he made sure was put in there. Especially the parts that concerned me. Because what you're not going to do is insult me and then smile in my face. You're not going to insult me and smile in my face. You're not finna play in my face like that. Because I do not need to deal with you. I don't have to talk to you. You are not my parent. Number one. Number two, I don't deal with fake people. Don't be fake in my face and think I won't call you out. Absolutely not. And then see, what he fails to realize is both of them do. Because y'all already know I don't mess around with my mother-in-law at all. I don't fool with her on any level. Because as Maya Angelou once said, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And she showed me who she was a long time ago. And I said, that ain't somebody I want to fool with. That is not somebody I want to fool with. Because this is not finna work out in my favor. In any way, shape, or form. And being nice to people, you can't be, as my grandma used to say all the time too. And my mama did too. But my grandma very, very specifically used to say this all the time. Some people you just can't be nice to. You can't grin with them. She would say this about children, but she really meant it about people. Because, some of them you just can't be nice to them. You can't be kind to everybody. Yes, you strive to be kind to everybody, give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but some people you just can't be nice to them because they don't know no other way. I had a very southern black grandma who, despite converting to Catholicism in 1947, was sometimes the most petty, passive-aggressive person I've ever met in my whole life. Woo! She was the master of passive-aggressive behavior. And so she then taught the other master of passive-aggressive behavior. And so I'm like, oh, y'all seem to think that I didn't get those gifts from my mama and my grandmama. Because I can be passive-aggressive too. So, it was passed down the line in my family to a lot of folks' detriment, because some of the folks in my family do passive aggressive things and then it come back to bite them in the ass. It does. See my aunts. Whoa, the passive aggressive behavior that they learned from their mama. Well, congratulations. It's biting you in the ass now, ain't it? But anyway, my mother and father-in-law apparently don't seem to realize that your girl learned from a very passive aggressive master. No, they don't know this. As a matter of fact, no, they don't know this because they've not bothered to get to know me at all. So they don't know that yes, I was in fact taught by a super passive aggressive person, and I can be extremely petty when I want to be. I learned from the master, and the master learned from the master, and the master probably learned from the master. So there's that. Because my grandmother was raised by her aunts. There's a prevailing theme here of aunts being involved in my family line, especially in my maternal line. The aunts were the matriarchs of the family. And in my case now, my aunt is in fact the matriarch, but yeah, I don't really pay it too much attention. I learned a long time ago, you know what? You can be a matriarch all you want, but if you ain't gonna take leadership skills and run with it and make sure everything is running smoothly, well, what kind of matriarch exactly are you? So maybe we don't need one. So yeah, I learned very quickly. But in this case, yeah, these ones here I ain't learned. They don't seem to have realized that I can be super passive aggressive and petty. I'm being nice the entire time that we have been married and or seriously dating and together. I have been nice because he asked me to. It wasn't because I absolutely had to, because I don't get anything out of that. I don't need a relationship with my mother and father-in-law at all. I really don't need one. And I picked up on the fact that I was treated differently anyway because I'm a woman. Because I can tell you, the other children-in-law are both males. And I guarantee you, he ain't doing none of this bullshit with them. I promise you, they've not had to have this talk with him. But, no, just me. And you know, you would think I was out here thinking I was special. I'm not. But I'm like, why do I have to keep... Why? Why do we have to keep having this conversation with you? Why do we have to keep talking to you about this? Why do we have to keep talking to two very grown people about their behavior and how they treat people? Why do we keep having to have this discussion? You act like you're not retaining the information here. So I'm kind of like, there's some cognitive decline going on here because y'all don't seem to be grasping that the child is not necessarily a child anymore. I mean, he's gonna be a child. He gonna always be their child, but he's also a husband. Like, we seem to not grasp that fact. Or I'll put it this way: it's not that we don't grasp that fact. We don't want it to be true. So if we pretend long enough that it's not true, we think we'll get away with it. That's what's happening here. And I'm like, you know what? Okay, keep it up. But two things can be true simultaneously. He can be a son and a husband, but he gonna be a husband first. I go ahead and tell you that now. He has been duly taught that once you become a husband, once you sit up there and you take vows and you become somebody's husband, you are a husband first, a son second. And whatever it is your wife got going on, if you want to stay married, I suggest that you follow whatever it is your wife telling you to do. Because some of these husbands out here don't be having the fear of God put in them by their wife. They still scared of making mama upset versus making the wife upset. And I'm like, okay, well, you got to come home to me. Like, you got to come home to me. So it behoove you to choose wisely, as the man said in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. You better choose wisely. That man told him he chose poorly. I was very young when Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade came out. Okay, so what I did was I took this and I went back over it again, and I am color correcting because your girl, as usual, has a heavy hand, not a slow hand, as the woman saying. I don't have a slow hand. I got a heavy hand, and heavy hand Lindsay here kind of put on too much silver. But that's what they make color correction for. And this gel cream liner is perfect for fixing mistakes when you have already drawn the black. So, there we go. I like it. So, as y'all can see, there's a line, there's a crease, there's a line over the lash line, excuse me, and then there's eyeshadow. And that Silver Witch Please shadow stick is very pigmented, baby. So, what we're now going to do, we're going to do face. So, actually, no, we're not. We're going to do mascara real quick. So yeah, I didn't do my mascara first, but I will do it here. I have since reorganized my makeup table. That's why it's taking me a minute to figure out where everything is. But I got another lipstick thing, so I'll pick it up real quick. These mascara things do not want to. This is where my mascara is now, so y'all can see. Mascara and lipstick are in this. So what I did was I bought a stand for these things, and I took them out of the holder that I already had them in, because I have so many tubes of lipstick, and I have so many things of mascara. They filled this up real quick, but it freed up some more spaces elsewhere for other things, so I could move some stuff around. So let me get some primer, some lash primer. Trying to decide which one I want to use. I think I want to use Super Boost. So we're going to use the Essence Super Volume Boost, the Volume Booster Lash Primer Super Volume. We're going to use this one to do the lash primer and then do some mascara. I think I'm gonna use the Yves Saint Laurent today, or maybe I might use my ColourPop and then do some Call Me Queen with it. So bear with me. I'm pulling my eyelid up a little bit just to get this on here and do. I always seem to touch my bottom set of lashes. So anyway, yeah, that's the foolishness that's going on, because I'm just like, are you serious, man? If you don't go sit down somewhere. So you know what, never mind, we don't need you. We really don't need you. We really don't. We don't need you. We will handle it ourselves, and that's part of the problem. Because I really do believe there's some narc tendencies going on here. And I know for a fact there's some narc tendencies going on with my mother-in-law. Matter of fact, she is a narc. That is... you know what? There's a meme of a raccoon, and he got on a little hat, and it says, undiagnosed, but everyone's pretty sure. Yeah, she's undiagnosed, and I ain't no doctor and no therapist and no psychiatrist and all, but I go ahead and tell you that there's definitely narc behavior at play. 9 times out of 10, if there's some drama involving her, it's because there's some narc behavior going on, because I'm pretty sure my mother-in-law is a covert narc. Pretty sure. She's not a malignant narcissist. But she's definitely a covert one. I don't even, you know what, we're going to blow past, borderline personality disorder. Nah, it's covert narc. Um, and I'm like, you know what? You need to go get some therapy real quick, guy. Both of you. Because, both of y'all got some stuff going on. And my father-in-law displays definite narc tendencies. It ain't necessarily full-blown narcissism, but there are some narc tendencies going on. Because he tends to play the role of enabler. And generally, enablers, he's the enabler to the narc. Generally, the enabler has narc tendencies also. Listen, they tend to go together. So, yeah, I'm not... It took me a long time to pick up on his, but hers, nah, it was pretty obvious. That's what I say. Undiagnosed, but everyone's pretty sure. I'm like, you have problems. And this ain't just normal, I am immature problem. No, this is, you need to go talk to somebody, and they ain't gonna be able to help you, because all they gonna do is teach you how to be able to dodge accountability and give you therapy speak that you're going to then try to use to manipulate people anyway. You can't help them. And that's what I have to impress upon my husband all the time. I'm like, I know you want to save her, but you can't save everybody. Okay? Like, and I say this as somebody who has experience dealing with other narcs. It ain't just my mother-in-law and my father-in-law. My sibling is very much a narc, and he's a malignant narcissist. It ain't even disguised. He can't even call himself covert. He's malignantly a narcissist. It's very much pay attention to me. I'm most important. My feelings are more important than your feelings. A lot of feeling invalidation, a lot of built up contempt and resentment for literally no reason. And I'm like, the time you spent being resentful and contemptful here, you could have done whatever it was you was pissed off about. I don't get it. Like, and then what galls me the most with my sibling is, it is very much over something that doesn't exist. I'm like, you do realize you're so mad that I existed. You realize mama wanted more children, right? You weren't going to be just the only one. Even if I wasn't the person that I am, there was still going to be another child there. You weren't going to be just an only child. Mama specifically told me before she died, well before she died, it was years and years and years ago. My mom was like, I wanted 4 children, at least 4 children, because she was born into and raised in a very large family. My mama had 12, it was 12 of them, okay? So like 11 brothers and sisters. And it's like 10 surviving. So that's what I'm just like, huh? I don't get it. Why would you think you were going to be an only child? What gave you that impression? It was just that it only took like 10 years between the two of us because time. Like, I mean, she just didn't meet anybody until you were 10. Like, I don't understand why we seem to think that somehow that's my fault. It don't make sense to me. But, you know, narcissism and foolishness like that don't make sense in general. They don't tend to make sense. That's a defining factor here. Whatever it is that they're doing all this narc raging about, they don't tend to make sense. It tends to be nonsensical. Anyway, very quickly, we are using the Level Up. This is the Level Up by ColourPop lengthening mascara. Let me shake her up a little bit. But yeah, surrounded by weird ass people who don't make sense most of the time. And I'm like, you know, you are not the main character in everybody else's story, right? You barely the main character in your own story, but you definitely ain't the main character in my story. So, yeah, no, whew. So when I can pick up on it now and see it in other people. Also too, because not only my brother, some of my aunts also, and my daddy is definitely, he got narc tendencies. I don't know if he's a full blown narc, but I'm very sure that there are some narc tendencies going on there, because it's not malignant narc, but it ain't covert either. I mean, you just know dealing with him, he's pretty self-centered, and self-involved, and his survival is most important. He gonna let you know from the jump. His survival is most important. He don't care about yours. Yours is not important. His survival and him making sure he got what he needs is most important. And I'm like, that's a problem when you have children, guy. So the children wind up being neglected by the daddy, while the mama's got to do all the raising. There are four of us. Four. Only one of which is like, hey, that's my dad. The other three of us are like, no, thank you. Nope, no, thank you. I know where this is going. No, thank you, because he is weird and super self-involved and self-centered, and tends to make everything about himself. Nope. And his needs. Nope. Not doing it. And in my case, it was a definite problem, because my mama was the one that he messed with all the time. There's a reason why she was wife number 2 and number 4. So, knowing that history, I learned from a young age how to deal with my parent. And unfortunately, and I know this is terrible to say, that's the surviving parent. I got stuck with the one that's, the narc that ain't about me, or at least even gives enough, care to care about me in general. So yeah, I promise y'all, I know how to deal with a narc at this point. I just tend to ignore him. I don't deal with him on a more than a matter of fact, I don't even deal with him on a surface level. Because I already know it's finna be some bullshit. There gonna be people in your life that you already know, as soon as you talk to them, it's finna be some bullshit. My mother-in-law is one of those people. Like, I already know from the jump, it's finna be some bullshit. Just don't even bother. Cause you're not, it's finna be some bullshit. Like, you're not getting around it. So this is going to be the Call Me Queen. I'm going to use this to fan my lashes out, because as you can see, once I put that mascara on, you can't even really tell that I got on mascara, because the black that I put over my lash line is popping. So it's right where my lashes would be. So, and my lashes, by the way, have grown back fully. They are good to go. I have been very careful in taking off mascara when I put it on. And so, I've seen great results with it, and I'm very pleased. So I'm gonna put a little bit of Call Me Queen on, and spread them out a little bit, fan them out with this wand. So yeah, I didn't appreciate anything that that my father-in-law just did, and I can tell you, yeah, we will not be fooling with him going forward. Nope, miss me with that. Because I don't appreciate that at all. And I don't spend my free time and my time off, and my vacation time, and my downtime, and my time in general with people I don't like. So whatever I was doing to facilitate, which by the way is not my job, whatever I was doing to facilitate my husband spending time with either of his parents, yeah, that's definitely, I definitely don't do it for my mother-in-law, but I'm definitely not doing it for the father-in-law either. I kind of, listen, he was already on thin ice as it was. Because this ain't the first time that by the way, this is not the first time that we've had to have this discussion. That was also my point. Why we got to keep talking to y'all about this? So, this is not the first time we've had to have this discussion. And there was a reason why in our wedding vows that leave and cleave was put into the reading that my pastor did. Mine and Brandon's pastor did when we got married. There was a reason for that. And as a matter of fact, pastor was the one who suggested it. Because she knew what the situation was. So I said, yeah, go ahead and put that in there. I have absolutely no objections to that. He didn't either. But it seems some people were not paying attention and were not listening when pastor was talking. Because we seem to skip over the leave and cleave part. Because I'm especially incensed at well, your mama said you're going to need a tux. Excuse me? Mama can kiss my ass. Is what mama can do. Real quick. So, I mean, because, they was out there skating on thin ice together. So, all right, eyes are done. Eyes are very much done. So, that completes the eye part. And I really like, so my lashes are popping. I mean, if I turn, you can see them on this side. And if I turn, you can see them on this side. They're popping. So, now we're going to do the face. And I already done took my rings and stuff off. So, let me get some primer in here. Elf hydrating face primer. Like I don't like that Elf cooling stick. I like the cooling sensation. That's fine, but it feels weird. I don't like it. Feels like first of all, once you put it on and it dries down, it does not feel like you have put any type of primer on your face. And I'm like, but did I put primer on here? Because I know I could have sworn I put primer on here. So, yeah, but I don't like the after effects of how it feels on my face once it dries down. It feels very tacky. And I know that that's supposed to be, I guess it's supposed to help the makeup adhere better. But I don't like how that feels. I like how this feels. This feels good. Yeah, it's a little greasy, but if you don't put too much on, you won't have that problem. I am going to put some primer. I'm going to put it on my nose because we are going to start putting stuff on our nose so we don't look like like we got a mask on or something with it's all over my face but not on my nose. So we're gonna do better with that. I do really like how my eyes turned out with this white. That silver was a great idea. So trying to make sure I rub this in really well and don't have like a big blob of it somewhere. I am gonna shave my sideburns. I might get my husband to help with that. That's why I say we. I might get my husband to help with that. I just shaved him and I cut his hair. And so in anticipation of doing it next month, for the wedding, because I'm probably gonna do it for that too. But he may decide he'll go to a barber. I don't know. It's up to him. Whatever he decides is what he'll do. If he want me to cut it, I'll cut it. If he don't, you can go to a barber. I don't care. I have been cutting his hair for the last 5 years because I learned how to do it. because out of necessity, because he still had to get his hair cut. And he couldn't go to a barber at least the first 3 years of COVID, because that wasn't gonna work. I was absolutely not. No, sir, you will not. You're not going to a barber and then bringing that back into this house. I am definitely trying not to get sick. I don't care. You are not bringing COVID back into this house. And then it turns out that I was the one who brought it home anyway. But my point was, we had an alternative too. So, we had a workable alternative, and I learned to do it, and I learned to do it well. So, that's another point of contention too, by the way, with my mother-in-law, because that's something she can't control. And I guess she thinks she's gonna take digs at me because I'm the one who cuts his hair, and I'm like, whatever, get out of my face. Go sit down, because you can't control that. You sound so goofy. Like, do whatever I want to do anyway. Like, I mean, when I tell you, I just don't pay her any attention. And she has literally no impact on whatever it is we doing. She has no impact. She seems to think she does, but she has no impact. So what we're gonna do? So I really like. I want to point out. I really like this. I do. I really like it. But we're going to use. I discovered the other day, doing foundation and doing this setting powder, that my Pretty Fresh foundation plus my Juvia's Place plus this warm honey from the Juvia's Place and the silky finishing powder, all of that works really well together, and you can't even tell I got anything on my face. Lady friend at work, it was like, oh, I really like your foundation. I was like, thank you. Well, thank you. That was very, very kind of her. Some days I get it just right. Some days, we do a little bit too much. But I am getting the hang of this. As you can see, I am learning how to do this and do it well. It just takes practice, which is what we do here at Budget Beauty. We practice and we teach along the way. So, put a little bit on my nose so we get that part. I am going to take the excess. I'm going to use this sponge too. Yes, it's already been used. I'm going to use this sponge and take the excess off of there, and I'm going to put it on above my lip, because that's the part you have to remember to do. So, see if I can get her going. And I can tell I put it on above my lip, even though it doesn't look like it, because it'll cover up my lip, the top part of my lip sometimes. So, I'm sad because my intern friend is going. She finished. She's got another internship. So she's gone. I was trying to get a little dot there. That's what I was doing there, but I did not succeed. I'll probably take some more excess from over here and do it. I like doing the dots because then I can blend them in and get that right. But yeah, my intern that I worked with last summer has a new internship coming up. She finished with us at the job, and so and I bring this up only because she was who told me about using a blending sponge. Also, my work niece too. She did tell me about using a blending sponge. Both of them did, but I had talked to intern, who was an absolute sweetheart. She was the one who was like, listen, you get you a blending sponge, it is life changing. And I was like, oh, word? You know, I'm always in the market for some makeup tips. You know, I'm always about some makeup tips. So, she did. She told me that, and I was like, really? And then I talked to my work niece, and she said, yeah, she said, yeah, you get you a blending sponge. Girl, you got to get you a blending sponge. I was like, okay, that's now two people who have told me this. Look like that's what I'm going to go do. His work niece also does makeup. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, now you done told me this too. Looks like that's what I'm going to do. So that's what I did. And it is, in fact, life-changing. It is, in fact, life-changing. In terms of doing this makeup, it is. Because I can quickly blend this out. Instead of trying to use a brush. I know people who use a brush and they can do it very quickly because they've been doing it a long time. I have not. So I am literally teaching myself, hey, you need to learn how to do this, do it right. And also we'll worry about speed later, but we'll teach ourselves to do it right, and then we can worry about getting faster at it. Then you can start taking the shortcuts and learning how to do it, do it how you want to do it. But learn how to do it right first. Like, do it right first. Then we can worry about being faster about it. And that's also a philosophy I use for everything else, pretty much. Like, especially with my job. I need to learn the job. I need to learn how to do this first before I learn to be talking about doing it quickly. I think you want me to learn to do it right. And then you don't have to have me go back and do quickly. You don't have to worry about me having to go back and touch it again. And then be hurrying up. Now we got to rush. Just do it right from the beginning. Then we can worry about increasing that speed. So, yeah, I definitely didn't stop worrying about that so much at the job. I want to learn how to do this and do it right. And get it right. So I can learn the correct way to do things. Alright. So that, by the way, that was the Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Foundation from ColourPop in the shade Dark 157W. Trying to make sure I got this all blended in. Because trying to do this on camera, using your camera to do this as I'm recording this, it looks like I've not blended it in, but if I look in my mirror, I have blended this in very well. Okay. Just want to make sure I hit the pertinent spots here. Get above that. And I did. Okay. So, that is my foundation done. Now, as y'all can see how well that foundation works on my face. That's a good beat. And I really like this foundation, y'all. I really do. Really, ColourPop hit with this. And this is my perfect shade, too. At first I thought it was maybe just a tad bit too light, but it's really not. And I can darken it down with other things, so it's really good. It's a good match for me, and I really like ColourPop stuff. I mean, y'all know how I feel about ColourPop. I might start using their concealer too. As much as I love me some Juvia's Place, which we fixing to put this on. This is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Concealer in the shade J8. As much as I love Juvia's Place, I am always open to using other things. So, but, I'll reach for Juvia's Place first. But I will try other things, especially if I like other stuff in a franchise's brands, like basket kit, whatever you want to call it, their lines. If I like I love ColourPop stuff. I love their lipstick. I love their foundation. I love their lipstick first, and then I started using that foundation. So, yeah. All right. So that is I'm now blending in my I'm gonna have to redo my under eye because I got a lot of concealer up underneath there. Woo. Let's see if we can get that down. I probably should be doing my under eye later anyway. So as you can see right here, I got too much. I put it up there too far. But it's fine. I will redraw in just a second. I'll redraw it in a minute. But I probably should be doing my under eye last anyway. So there's that. Hopefully I won't have to do it here. Because what we're gonna do, try to get up underneath here, cover up some spots. I try to put my concealer in the spots that I know I have spots, and then spots that I may decide I want to cover up after the fact. So as you can see, got a little bit. I gotta blend this in just a tad bit. But see that it's casting a shadow with this light, so it looks like it looks like a big patch right here. It's not. I promise y'all, it's not. That's actually just a shadow from my ring light. But I keep looking at that and going, but wait a minute, did I not blend that? I did. So okay, I think I got everything. Put some concealer up here in the bridge. My eyebrows are so thick that sometimes, listen, sometimes I be scared I'm gonna have a unibrow. Just because my eyebrows are so thick and they grow really fast and they are bushy. I have slightly bushy eyebrows. And I have a little bit of gray in my eyebrows. You can't see it right now because you're not up close on me. But if you got super up close on me, you'd be able to see it. Let me draw. I'm going to redraw this under eye. There we go. Got it back. That little section is like, but girl, you already put this here. It's like, but girl, you already put eyeliner underneath here. Why are you putting this back? Oh, because you covered this up. Stop it. I mean, it'll work. But yeah, it does not like that very much. Because I'm not really pressing down too hard. So what I'm going to do to add this back, even though I did this with a real thin one, we're going to use the Swerve ColourPop gel cream liner. Because see, I can draw this immediately with this. So it should be fine. And I'm going to add a little bit back over here too. Okay. Oh, okay. So we fixed it. All right. So now we got concealer on. Now, all right. Here is our favorite part. Kind of. Kind of. What we did was, so I did buy some of this. This is the Deep Dark in the Makeup Revolution. This matches, as you can see, this matches my skin tone very well. I have used this, and it does match when I use certain products together. It matches perfectly. But what we're going to do, we're going to continue with the Juvia's Place theme here. Because I discovered the other day that this matches very well. Now, that's not to say that I don't like this. I really like this. This is actually pretty good. I do like it. I like the translucent powder too. It does brighten up my face. And it almost makes me, I think because I put on too much, but it almost makes me look a little ashy in the face. So I'm like, maybe just not be so heavy-handed with it. But this is the Juvia's Place I Am Magic Silky Finishing Powder in the shade Warm Honey. This is really, really good. I really like it. It matches my skin tone. It looks like it wouldn't, but it does. It does. It gives me a very nice brown matte finish. This is also almost their darkest shade, if I'm not mistaken. It might be. So, what I learned to do, I watched, thanks to Miss Gina. We see you, Gina. Shout out to you. Because Miss Gina was the one who suggested go watch this video from this lady. And I did subscribe to that lady. But she was like, watch this video from this lady. And in that video, it's a short. And it's in my comments. I kept it, and Miss Gina kept her comment up. Y'all can go watch it. It's in one of my comments for, I want to say the breakdown. Maybe the breakdown. It's one of my videos. You need to prime your setting powder. So, what she suggested in that video was take your thing, your powder puff, whatever you're going to do. Pick up some of your powder. As you can see, my powder here. Take some of your powder that you're going to put on. Take this. And you're going to have to put this down. So, give me just a second. I'm putting it down. Put this down. Then take the palm of your hand. Take this and prime it like this right here. Rub it in the palm of your hand like this right here. Then put it on your face. So, that's what we're going to do. So, try to get your excess. And see, y'all can immediately see the effect of this setting powder on my face. It's immediately mattifying my face. So I'm going to take a little bit more, do it again. And I do this for every section of my face, so that I don't forget to do a part. Because we're going to set this above my lip too. But see how I did that? And it's immediately setting this makeup. Shake and bake, as I like to call it. But that was an excellent suggestion. Thank you, Gina. That was excellent. Because as soon as I watched it, I was like, wait a minute, I got to go back and watch this a couple times. Let me make sure I understand how this is working, how she did that. As soon as I watched her do it, and it only took me once, probably like once or twice, for me to grasp what she was doing. And as soon as she said prime it, I was like, oh, that's what she's doing there. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So, and as you can see, I don't have a whole ton of it on. I am blending out what I did put on here too. But as y'all can see how that side is mattified down. Now, later on, I do have a little bit of oil control later on. That's just because my face is just, I have dry skin, but with makeup on, I will be sweating throughout the day. So, I do get a little bit of oiliness going on. And it will be a little tad shiny, but nothing massive. Not like how when I used the setting spray. And look at that. That is a solid mattified beat. Okay. I want to make sure I cover all my bases here. I might actually wear some, I think I might wear some blush today. I very seldom wear blush. Make sure I get this. I was scared I missed it. I know I just did this part, but I'm always scared I missed a section of some sort. Like I didn't get along the jawline or something, which I do not use contour. I've not quite figured out contour just yet. So I will, one day I might do it. I watched a couple of videos. Like I watched Robert Welsh, and I follow him on Instagram and on Facebook. And so, and YouTube. And so, teaching myself contour. I watch his stuff. He talked about contour, the right way to do it, and how to achieve the effect that you're looking for. Shout out to Robert Welsh. Fantastic videos. Does very much a great job with teaching. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is a solid beat. This is a matified solid beat. And as I said, my work friend, she one of my work nieces too, I guess. She she's much younger than me. She's like 25, 26. So I will be 44 next year. Maybe I'm going to be 44 this next month, not next year. I will be 44 this year. I am maybe going to do some birthday makeup. Maybe. Depends on if we go out for my birthday, which is, I think we might do that. We might go out for my birthday. So there's that. My husband generally takes the time off, and he's all like, what do you want to do for your birthday? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to do for my birthday. So he did ask me the other day, he was like, what do you want to do for your birthday? I'm putting in for the time at work right now. And I was like, I don't know. I ain't thought that far ahead, guy. He will make a big deal about my birthday. And Amazon wish list is always stacked and properly stocked with things. So for him, for gift ideas, things that I would like, so that he can pick whatever he wants off that list and he can get it for me, and it's a suitable birthday gift or Christmas gift. I do tell him he can do that also for Christmas. If it helps him, listen, at first I was just like, now why do I have to make a list for you? But, but husband is baby. And so I cut him a little bit of slack. So I am kind of hard to buy for. I have a lot of interests, and it's kind of wide ranging, like video games. This is all video games. So he knows he could get me games, but the problem is it need to be something that I've specifically requested, because as you can see, a lot of different games back here. So if he buys a video game, it kind of need to be something that I'm gonna like. Like, if you buy me Mario, cool. I'm probably going to pay it. If he bought me Animal Crossing, cool. Probably going to play it. Matter of fact, that's 100%. I'm going to play Animal Crossing. I've been playing Animal Crossing since it released in the US in 2002, 2001, 2002, somewhere around there. I had Animal Crossing on the GameCube. And then I have played every version since. And I owned every version of it, even the one on mobile. And when they upgraded that one and made it Pocket Camp Complete, I got that too. So right now, matter of fact, I'm fixing to check in. I already finished the event for the time period right now. So yes, massive Animal Crossing fan. But he knows, don't buy me anything Zelda, because I'm not a Zelda fan. Yes, I know it's blasphemous, but I don't like Zelda. I can't get into Zelda at all. So he, like, stuff like that, he knows. Check the list. See what wife has put on the list. If it's on the list, fair game. You could buy it and I would be cool. So, and as a matter of fact, their Capcom Fighting Collection, because I also play fighting games, and I have played fighting games for a long time. So, massive Mortal Kombat head. So, if he bought me this Capcom Fighting Collection 2 that is fixing to come out, I'm okay with that. He could buy me that for my birthday, and I would be perfectly fine with that. So he knows. So that's why I was like, he makes a big deal about my birthday, and I make a big deal about his. But I don't make a big deal about my own birthday, just because I'm just like, birthday. My mom used to make a big deal about it, and I appreciated that. But since my mom has been gone for 10 years now, it's kind of been like, I don't really care too much anymore. And milestone birthdays, yes. So like my 40th birthday, my 30th birthday, yeah, my mom and I she came up to visit me for my 30th. My 40th birthday, my mom had already passed away. And it was just me and husband, and it was COVID. So I turned 40 in 2021, right after we got married. So yeah, it was kind of in the throes of I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna stay in this house and not get sick. So yeah, I stayed home and watched Marvel movies, and we ate. We went and got some takeout and came back to the house and just stayed in the house. 50th birthday, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So that's some years from now, but I don't know. Maybe we'll have a party. I don't know. My husband's 50th birthday, I would like to have a party for him. My husband is very much an extrovert. And I know he didn't seem like it on camera, but I promise y'all, my husband is a massive extroverted person. So parties are his thing. He very much enjoys himself at parties. He is very much, he's like, I told him, I said, your middle name need to be Party Time because you you very much enjoy parties. I not so much. I go and I'll socialize, but I have very much a social quota, and once that quota's filled up, we going home. Like the man said, I gotta go. I gotta leave. Calm down. Like I am not. I cannot bring myself to be. Oh, nope. Because people are gonna be there. So I'm just like, yeah, no, no, thank you. So I am gonna do some lipstick now because we're at that part here. But yeah, I think maybe for his 50th we'll have a party or something. I'll get it together and have a party um for him and get friends to come, family, we'll see. He already knows that I would like to have a party for his 50th because he'll turn 50 before I will. My husband's 2.5 years older than me, so he will hit 50 in, let me think, 2028. I will turn 50 in 2031. Yeah, 2031 is when I turn 50. So yeah, um, I'm like, okay. Um, so I'm trying to think also what I'm doing here while I'm talking. I'm looking to see what kind of lipstick I want to wear. Do I want to do a red or do I want to do a pink or do I want to do? I think this calls for a red. We need a bold in your face red. Um, so I think, I have not worn the Juvia's Place red. Woo! I truly fixing to drop it. I have not worn this Juvia's Place red in a good minute. This is Lulu. I really like this. This is more like a deep burgundy wine-ish. But I think I want to wear my red. What did I do with it, though? That's the question. Oh, here we go. This is Take a Seat. This is their liquid lipsticks from Juvia's Place. And so I think I want to do Take a Seat. I have not worn these in a minute. So I will do that. I will do that. So let me get my lips lined. I don't know. Let me see. I need to find some liner, and I don't know what happened to my little pencil. Oh, my pencil fell down here. So give me a second. I dropped it. I dropped it. Okay. So I'm gonna line my lips with this. Because I want a black line. I want a black defining line. And then we're gonna pop out with this red. Okay, lips are lined. All right, so red. And I love you know what? Listen, I love the shape of my lips. Let me just be the first one to say that. I really love the shape of my lips. Hmm. Okay. Calm down. I have to be very careful to stay within the boundaries here. But this also is very it's very thick. All right, bottom lip. My lips are kind of trash because I wore lipstick yesterday and then I took it off and I didn't put any mask on last night. Okay. My lips are absolute trash right now. But a little bit goes a long way with this red. It dries also very quickly. It not take long. But this red is very thick and a little bit goes a long way. it almost is too much. Like it's very, as soon as like I take this out of here, it's like oh just so much. Like it is so much on this wand. So especially with the Lulu, but that was Take a Seat. That was the shade Take a Seat. Um I love this. I promise y'all I love this. It's gonna dry down. It's gonna be gorgeous. Um as a matte. It is a very soft matte and I really love it. This Lulu, gorgeous wine color. It is a deeper wine red almost. Um, and I tend to wear it when I wear purple. I like how it looks with purple, with like purple makeup and purple like clothing. So, ladies and gentlemen, charlatans and shitheels, this is the completed look. Somebody, my husband asked me. I told him that I said, I said something to him, and I said, "Ladies and gentlemen, charlatans and shitheels," and he was like, "Where did you?" He's like, "Where did that come from?" And I was like, "How to tell me you've never seen The Crow?" I was like, "How to tell me you've never seen?" He had seen The Crow. He just didn't remember that the character said that. So the character of Top Dollar in the movie The Crow, the one with Brandon Lee, the original movie, he says in a scene, he says, and he says, "Well, I started the first goddamn fires in this city, and now every charlatan and shitheel is calling themselves talking about devil's fucking night." So yes, that's where I get that from. um, that movie is that movie is one of my favorites. I am also a little bit about myself, little known tidbit. I am a massive Crow fan. I am a Crow super fan. Let's put it that way. I am a massive Crow fan, and this used to be so. This room that I'm in here, used to be my bedroom when I was in college. So I've lived in this house since 1984. Okay. Off and on. And so my this eventually became my bedroom when we moved back into this house in 1999. So from 99 until '03 when I graduated from college, this was my bedroom. Okay. So this wall over here, y'all can't really I'm pointing at the wall. You can't see it because it's not the wall behind me, but this wall over here goes from there all the way across like that. So, and it has the wood paneling that you see behind me back here. So, this wall in front of me was my crow wall, what I call my crow wall. I had various posters, pictures, cutouts, things that people had given me, things related to the crow. That's all this wall was. that's all it was. I had, well, I take that back. I did later on. I did turn it into. I added other things. So when I got a little bit older, toward the end of school, so USC used to have, because I went to the University of South Carolina, all 4 years for my first degree, which was in journalism. So I got a they used to have a poster sale, and they used to have a jewelry sale too. And I bought listen, I was a little goth kid, so I was always buying weird crosses, and I had like a poison ring where it was like a ring and it was in the shape of a coffin, and you could open it up. And it used to be the Medicis, my mom was the one who told me this, the Medicis would put poison in the ring. And so they would go to dinner with somebody, and if they wanted to bump them off, they would open up the ring, surreptitiously put poison into the food, and close back up the ring and kill them. Like, I was like, oh, that is cool. So I found one. I found two of them, but I don't know where those rings are now. I have no idea. But I used to keep my jewelry over here somewhere. My bed was over here once upon a time too. And so on this wall, I would go get posters from the poster sale at school. And so one of them, I got a poster of Bruce Lee from Game of Death. I'm pretty sure it was Game of Death. Might have been Enter the Dragon, actually. Now that I think about it, it's probably Enter the Dragon. And then I had, because I love Bruce Lee, then I had a poster of Samuel L. Jackson and John Travolta from Pulp Fiction in black and white, where they're pointing their guns like this, and and the guy has come in the room and he's just wildly shooting like this, and they just kind of turn, they look at him, and then they turn and look at each other, and then they turn back at him, and then they shoot him. Yeah, that was that scene, but it was in black and white. So because I love Pulp Fiction. And then I had one, oh, I'm trying to think, what was the other one? So for The Crow, I had one, it's a picture, it's the promo shot of Brandon Lee as Eric Draven as the Crow, sitting in the church that they are in at the very end of that movie, and it's like a blue toned photo, and it's him just sitting in the chair like this, and he's got all bandaged up, and he's got the makeup on and all of that. It was the most awesome, and then it says The Crow. I probably still have it somewhere. It's in a box, because all of my Crow memorabilia and things, because the 10th anniversary was 2004, and Hot Topic had a bunch of stuff on sale, so I bought a bunch of stuff then, and dolls, and like pens, and writing pens, and posters, and pictures. So yeah, I had a lot of stuff, and I used to have it up on a wall. I actually had another big giant poster of the wrestler Sting in his Crow makeup on the Crow wall. So yeah, it was a whole thing. If you came to my house and you visited me, you're like, oh, you've added something new to the Crow wall. Several people were like, oh, you've added something new to the Crow wall. I was like, yeah, I found something somewhere, and then somebody bought me some things, and they were like, here, I found this. Here you go. So yeah, I have actually dressed as the Crow once. I've done it twice. I've done it twice. I did it for Halloween twice. Once I was in college, and once I graduated, and we dressed up in costumes at work for something when I first started out in journalism business. I have met the wrestler Sting while wearing a t-shirt that had his face with the Crow makeup on. And he told me, he was like, that's a very nice shirt. And I was like, thank you. I got married the first time. It was a Crow connection. I did not intend to do this. It actually just worked out this way. And then later on, it was like, bro, we got married on Halloween. I got married the first time on Halloween, October 31st, 2004. So yes, in the movie, the first movie in the Brandon Lee movie, their characters were supposed to get married on Halloween, and they died before that happened. So matter of fact, they died like pretty much the day before they were supposed to get married. And so yeah, I have a lot of connection to The Crow. It is my favorite movie. I still have my Crow collection somewhere. I just haven't done anything with it. And I have done the Crow makeup. That I did it. So I wore the Crow makeup. The second time, the first time I did it, I made the mistake of using some really cheap paint to do it, and ruined my skin for a couple of weeks. And so that was back when I was teaching myself how to do makeup and learning how to do. So that's the lesson there, is don't use cheap makeup. But yeah, so I don't know, maybe this year, maybe I might do the Crow again. I don't know. I don't have any of the clothes anymore. Because I used to have a lot of the clothes just sitting around, and I don't anymore. Just because I very seldom am goth dressed. I might be a little bit of gothabilly every so often, but not as much as I used to be. Just because it just I don't want to say I outgrew it, but I tend to dress how I feel, so I'm not as dark anymore. Oh, we still dark, but it's not nearly as much, and so I try to tone it down. Sometimes I will wear a lot of black, and I might wear some black makeup. You guys have seen me wear black makeup, so yeah, I will from time to time. Um, I do. I do still, and every so often I will watch The Crow. I've been working on my treatise for The Crow for the last 20 years, and I've still not done anything with it. I have not finished it. It is a thesis on The Crow, and I've not finished it. No, I have never met James O'Barr, but a friend of mine has. Um, I even have a bedspread from The Crow. I got it from Hot Topic when they were selling everything. I have a bedspread, and it's out on my back porch. I need to wash it and take it to the laundromat and wash it, because I can't wash it in my washer. It's too big. But yeah, I'm massive Crow fan. Massive. Yes, massive. And yes, I have read the graphic novel. I have it memorized. I had a quote that college goth kid that I was. I had a quote memorized that I wrote out on my book bag, and so everybody knew who I was. And I mean, they'd see me around campus, they'd be like, "Oh, that's the goth kid." It is Eric screams and screams and pounds his head against the wall until phantom fire trucks race across his vision. All he wants is pain and hate. Yes, hate, but never fear. Fear is for the enemy. Fear and bullets. It is a quote. I have memorized. It took me probably about a week to memorize it, because I've read the graphic novel a million times, and then I memorized it, and I put that quote on my book bag in whiteout. Yeah, I was that goth kid. Was very much into anime and stuff. So yeah, I haven't. It used to be my email signature too. But yeah, I haven't watched it in a while, and I need to. I think I watched something. I watched something around Halloween just because I was like, let me pay tribute. And also too, when Brandon Lee's death anniversary comes around, I do tend to watch it just to I did watch a few things and watched a few scenes just to pay my respects and pay some tribute. He yeah, I think I was 12 when I was 11, almost 12 when he died. Because he died in 93. He died in 93. Yes, March 31st, 1993. So I would have been 12. I was 11, almost 12. I was in the 6th grade when that happened. And by the time that movie came out, I was in the 7th grade. So I didn't watch it until I was a senior in high school. And a friend of mine, who I have no idea where she is now, she was like, "You need to watch The Crow." And I was like, "What's The Crow?" And then she was like, "You remember Brandon Lee died?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I do vaguely remember that happening like years ago." And she was like, "Yeah, that was the movie that he was in, and he died while he was making it." And I was like, "Okay, yeah, okay." And she was like, "But I feel like you would like it, and you probably identify with it as a goth kid in high school." And I was like, "Okay, all right, cool, yeah, I'll go watch it." I watched it. I borrowed it from her. I watched it on VHS, and I was like, "This is life changing." It literally did change my life. But yeah, it was like, yeah, this is life changing. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Soundtrack is awesome. I did remember, and when she said, "You like Stone Temple Pilots?" And I was like, "Yeah." And she was like, "They did the song Big Empty," and I was like, "Oh, that's where that came from." I was like, "Oh, I had no idea." I hadn't seen the movie, so I didn't put two and two together. So yes, I do have the soundtrack, and I have the score somewhere in here, in my music collection. So yes, yeah. So this is the completed final look. Maybe I might do crow makeup one day. I might do that for an episode. Maybe for Halloween. Maybe around Halloween I might do it. And see how that works out, and see how that turns out. Ooh, that's an idea. I'm gonna have to get white paint. I'm gonna have to get white face paint. And go investigate that. I'd have to get some of that, but I already have. I could get some black paint too to do because you have to do the lines for the eyes because it's a Harlequin mask design. So, and then I have. Ooh, I don't even have. Ooh. Reformed goth kid that I am, I do not have black lipstick anymore, so I would need some black lipstick. But I have my black shadow stick for the eyes. So I'm gonna have to get some black lipstick too. And I know NYX makes some in this liquid. As y'all see, I have all of the liquid lingerie. NYX makes this in black. So I might have to hunt that down and find it. I think I will do that. So yes, I did take my hair down with this wig. Because y'all know I don't like to do my face while I got with my hair down. I like to have it pulled back, while I do hair. But yes, this is also a scarf that I got. I bought a bunch of hair scarves off of Amazon for like, I don't know, maybe about $18. Maybe about $15. I want to say it was about 15. But they had a thing of like 18 of them, and they have various colors. And I got this white one in that pack. I'm not wearing earrings today, just because I'm not going anywhere. I'm gonna film at the house, and I'm gonna work on my side project, Gaming Insurrection, today. So I'm not planning to leave the house and go anywhere. But I do have somebody coming to the house in a little bit, so to do some work at my house. So yeah, I figured I'd put my face on, put my hair on for the morning, do my makeup while I'm at it, so that when they come, I don't scare these people to death. But it's a routine repair that I have to get done at the house constantly. And so this guy has been to this house a million times and has seen me without a wig on. So at this point, we're on a first name basis. That's how often he has come to this house to do some type of repair. So yeah, I decided I was going to do makeup today. So this is the completed look. I really like it. I like how it turned out, and I really like this hair. I'm gonna figure out the best way to tame it and keep these curls viable. But for the most part, I really like the wig. So I want to thank y'all for watching and sitting through my story time of the drama that is my life. And while I'm doing this makeup and doing this beat, getting her done, I did say I was going to possibly wear blush, but I don't think I'm going to wear blush. I might do something later on and then put some blush on, but I'm kind of out of the notion of doing it at this point. But I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you come back and watch more of my videos and see this is my long form content, and watch more of the beauty haul and the breakdown. Those are my other two short form content series for budget beauty. And come back and learn tips and get some makeup and some tea while you get the makeup. I want to thank you for watching. Peace.